10,
9,
8,
7,
6,
5,
4,
3,
2, 1.
Hey, Skywalkers! Woohoo!
hello to the skywalking coven out there.
We are in our witchy mode. I'm excited.
I feel like I need a witch hat.
Need a wizard hat.
Yeah.
No?
I get sweaty under a
Yeah,
hat.
you do. How's my witch hat?
Yeah, it looks great.
It's got a big giant bow.
It does.
It's Minnie's hat. But I like it. It's very
do
cute.
too.
Ah!
There's Julie.
Hello, witches! The fact that witches rhymes with bitches, pretty awesome. Yeah.
Well,
See?
I'll be a
obvious.
son of a witch. Says Aaron. Glad to see you back there, Aaron.
Yeah.
It has been a while.
Mhm. And Pierre's pulling in. Happy Monday in October. Now, is this the first Monday in October or was last Monday the
Last
first?
Monday.
It was the
Was
first? Okay, excellent. Well, welcome everyone. Obviously, our topic today is going to be about witches, and it might be PG-13. Yeah.
It will.
I don't know. No, well, unless you don't like talking about, well, some of the witch trials, we're going to gloss over that because
Okay.
there's other places you can get an in-depth account.
Good.
Excellent. Okay. Well, we're going to get into it. We ready?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to hit record. Speaks, please.
I will speaks.
Oh,
Speak.
keep speaking. Oh,
Test.
I'm very low. Hey.
I seem to be low on my volumes lately.
Yeah,
so
but you
it
over
was between a 6 and a 7. Do
Right.
a 7
No.
or 6.89.
If I do a 7, then you over. It's always easier to up the volume in post.
All right. Well, before we start editing,
Yeah.
here's a little behind the
All
scenes.
right, before we start,
we'll do our
there we go.
sound sweetening.
Yes, do the sound sweetening first.
Yes.
Okay.
That's your department.
I know. Okay. Oh, and Don Glover. Oh, and Skywalker Academy. Excellent.
All right.
Oh my gosh. Everyone's joining us. This is exciting. Okay. Well, okay. All right. So shall we?
We shall.
Okay. Richard,
Okay. I'll do my what?
I'm going to need you to do your clappy claps right now, please. Very good. This is what you can look forward to on this witchy episode 486 of Skywalking Through Neverland.
Hey, Skywalkers, and welcome to the bewitching season. But how much do you really know of these dark magical creatures known as the witches? Well, sit tight because we're going to go down that witch road to learn some witch history. But which one am I? I am Richard Woloski. And I want to welcome you back to Skywalking Through Neverland. This witch right over here is my sweetie wife, Sarah, the witch of all witches, the witchy poo that is Sarah. How many times can I say witches in a 10-second time span?
I don't know, but we're here, witches! I'm excited. We are your enthusiastic podcast destination for the many decades of your Star Wars, Disney, Marvel, pop culture, and witchy fandom. So imagine a big Wookiee hug from us, a little sprinkle of pixie dust, and perhaps a few witch cackles for our family of Skywalkers. All right. Oh, I know, right? Isn't that cool?
I just heard a witch.
Me too.
Oh, that was you.
No.
Okay, go on.
Okay. We are live on the Skywalking Through Neverland YouTube channel right now. And those of you who are joining in, I got to say that Julie Gildersleeve started us off in the chat with, "Hello, witches," and really made our day. So thank you, Julie.
And Adam O'Brien, he is here from Australia.
Oh, excellent.
I'm not sure is it Halloween yet over there in Australia, Adam? I can never keep track of the days, the separation of days between us and you. Have you had Thanksgiving yet? Do you have Thanksgiving? You don't have Thanksgiving
They
over
don't
there.
have Thanksgiving.
No. But you know what they do have over there? YouTube subscribers.
Oh, yes.
Whoa, is that a segue or what?
Even witches need YouTube subscribers.
They do.
All
Now, last week we were at 9,108.
Okay.
And I think we just asked for 3 more to get us to 9,111.
Yes.
There's something always funny about the number 11. So we wanted to get there.
Okay.
But you guys went not only funny, but you went a laugh riotous. 9,116.
Excellent.
5 more than we asked for, and you got us there.
I love it.
Yeah. So homework assignment next week. 9120.
I like
It's
that.
only 4 more. It's only 4
like
more.
that.
We can do it.
If we were close to some kind of number that divided by 3, that would be better, but we're not. We're not close to like 9133 or something like that.
Oh, I beg to differ. Hold on.
Oh, wait.
Siri, what is 9,116 divided by 3?
The answer is approximately 3,038.6666.
Very fitting. Very fitting. Thank you, Siri.
Oh my goodness. Wow, that's funny.
So then we should just stay here then.
oh,
At
no.
9,116.
Oh, because it's 0.6666.
Yes. What do you say about that?
No, I think we need,
Yeah, that's
some
true.
more.
Okay.
We need
All
some more. All right.
This is Order 666. But now, guess what?
Okay.
Talking about more subscribers?
Yeah.
That wasn't a good segue. But last week we were telling everyone about the podcast downloads.
Yes.
And the weeks before that. And we said we were at, I think we needed 5,000 more.
Right.
But now we just need 3,800 more.
Oh my gosh. To
See-
hit the 1 million audio podcast download mark.
Yes.
Wow.
But that number went way up
Mm.
because
Yes, it did.
yeah,
I mean, it
because
went way down.
yes. The podcast the downloads went up
Yes.
and the number
To
that we
reach-
need went down.
To reach a
Yes.
million went down.
All right. Point being, we're almost at the 1 million mark.
Okay.
That's a very long way to go to give you that point. Get it? Pointy hat.
Oh,
See, this has all been scripted out.
yes. Can't you tell?
So thank you, Skywalkers, for doing all you are doing to help us grow.
Yes. All right. Well, in this episode, we are exploring witch culture and myth from the earliest accounts in history. What is witch hysteria? Why do witches come in threes? Why do witches ride brooms? How has their perception changed over time? We also go over our favorite witches in pop culture. And those of you watching live, we will be asking you in the chat when we get there.
Which one? Oh,
Which?
which? Okay.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
That one.
That one. There you go. Now, we are being sponsored by Small World Vacations, and they are a diamond level Disney vacation planner travel agency that can help you book your trip to a Disney park around the world or on a Disney cruise or both. And best of all, this service is free of charge. So head over there to smallworldvacations.com for a no obligation price quote and tell them Skywalking Through Neverland sent you, or do a witch's cackle just like this. I'll be asking that a lot of you this episode.
Okay. I was not prepared. Oh, incidentally, this episode we have to thank Bryn McKinnon, our friend Bryn McKinnon, for proposing this episode on witches, because we're all into Agatha all along and we're really excited about it. And she proposed an episode on witches and we're like, all right. So hours and hours and hours of research later, here it is.
Now, we are recording this from Long Beach, California on October the 7th, 2024.
Now, Richard, what happened today in Star Wars history?
Well, let's go back only 6 years ago to this date, October 7th, 2018. Star Wars Resistance premieres on the Disney Channel with a 2-part episode, The Recruit. Now, this series begins 6 months before the events of The Force Awakens. Then it crosses over into the sequel timeline.
Right.
Now, if you haven't watched Resistance yet, don't resist. A lot of fans passed over this because they thought it was too young. It was geared to the younger kids. But like Rebels, Resistance grew darker. It grew very, very dark. And I did a rewatch of the series to summarize each episode for today in Star Wars history. And it's better the second time around.
Oh, okay.
I really, really love this show. And I'm disappointed that when people talk about it, they don't think fondly of it
Mm.
because they were going in there with one expectation that Dave Filoni is spearheading this, but yeah, he's spearheading this for a younger group.
Right. And actually, I believe it was Brad Rao and Jennifer Corbett, their first foray into show running for Star Wars animation.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah, it was kind of the cutting ground for The Bad Batch, which of course was something we absolutely adore.
I love the fact that the animation is so different on this show. It doesn't look like every other Star Wars animated show.
Yeah.
And when I was watching it for Today in Star Wars History, I found myself just watching it, going, "That's a good frame." I would take a screenshot of that and post it, and people said the same thing. Wow, that's a great shot.
Yeah, Jeff agrees with you. He says, I like the animation style of Resistance.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Great minds think alike.
Yeah.
And like the other Star Wars shows on Disney Plus, even though this was on Disney Channel, so those are right before Disney Plus, but they should have played some of these episodes on the big screen as like a big fan event, like they do right now for the Acolyte and Ahsoka. Have a fan event, maybe even for the series finale.
Yeah, that would have been great.
Yeah, because this really screams for the big screen because it had a lot of big creatures in it.
Mhm.
Now, the main character, Kazuda Xiono, he hasn't appeared in any other shows just yet, but give it time. I think they're going to integrate him into future Star Wars shows.
But his father.
The Senator Hamada Xiono, he appeared in Ahsoka
Yeah.
and wasn't very liked.
No.
Yes.
Well, his character.
He
right.
wanted to court martial Hera.
Yeah.
So he became a very hated character. But the actor, Nelson Lee, said, "I enjoyed that because that means people really, really connected with my character
Oh, yeah.
and even with Kaz."
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Now, in 2019, the first season of Resistance deservedly won a Saturn Award for Best Animated Television Series. Deservedly so, because once again, this was a really good series. So don't sleep on Resistance. It is readily available on Disney Plus. So after you watch or listen to this episode of Skywalking Through Neverland, get over there and tell us what you think of it.
Nice. All right. We ready to get into it?
Yes. Read in the comments.
Yes.
We do. Oh, Adam, you do Halloween over there.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, I think it's been
Yeah.
pervasive now. I mean, what?
Do you get all the Halloween specials and movies and such over there? Is it as big as it is over here? It's over in the US, it's just ginormous.
Right. Yeah, I think it's kind of pervasive throughout the world now.
You know what? You're right.
Not like 20 years ago or 30 years ago, but
Adam, didn't we have you on one of our episodes like a couple of years ago talking about the Australian Halloween?
who are we kidding? It was probably like 10 years ago. We talked about Halloween. Yeah.
That's very true.
I think we did. Yeah, we we talked to different people around the world and what they do for Halloween. Yeah. We should probably give that episode a re-listen.
Or do an updated version.
Yeah.
All right, write that down.
Yes.
All right, here we go into the witch part of this witchy episode. It's our favorite time of the year, Halloween season. Not only have we been gorging on pumpkin flavored food, but we've been consuming a lot of scary and spooky content, including Agatha all along. Now, with witches on our minds and a suggestion from Skywalker Bren McKinnon, we're going to break down these magical dark beings. We'll go over various myths, a brief history, and their pop culture appearances. So put on your favorite pointed hat and grab your witch's broom. So let's get down the witch's road.
Ooh. Let's
There
go.
you-
Are we going to get down on
down.
the witch's road?
Get on down. See,
Woo-hoo.
you know what?
Oh.
I had the whiz stuck in my head.
Oh.
Oh, that's ease on down.
Oh, okay.
Ease on down. Ease on down.
Well, here
the
we
road.
go. We're going to go down
Yeah.
the witch's road.
I was trying to combine too many pop culture references. Didn't work out.
And if you're watching on YouTube, that is our new design that is on our TeePublic store right now. And I believe a new sale starts tomorrow.
Oh.
Yeah.
I highly recommend the purple version.
Yes, it really pops.
Yeah, I love this shirt.
It's beautiful. Also, there's about 25 Easter eggs in here having to do with the series Agatha All Along.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Did you point it? You know what? We should put this up on Facebook and have people find it.
Oh, I should.
Find the
yes.
icons.
Yes.
Find the images.
Ugh.
All right. Now, Don Glover is asking in the Sky Chat, are we going to break into a song?
Probably.
I did last episode with the Monkey Men, and Sarah took me aside and said, never again. Never again. Then she went to HR and complained about me. So I was written up for singing.
But I can sing.
Yes.
Down, down, down the road.
Down the witch's road. Moving right along.
Okay, so I just want to mention that I did a lot of research. We both did a lot of research.
No,
for
this is all
episode.
you. You did
Okay.
a ton of research on witches.
Yes, and so
You've got a big cauldron in your office.
I do.
I didn't want to ask about that, but
Uh-oh.
maybe I should because
Uh-oh.
I heard some screams behind the closed door.
You know, the minute you start Googling certain things, you get other things pop up, and yeah, we'll talk about it later. But so my point being, a full bibliography of all that we're going to talk about will be on our show notes for the episode. All right, so let's dive in. So first of all, I feel like we need a good definition of a witch. All right, so we're going to head back. Yeah, a witch. We're going to head back to 15th century Europe. Now, this is not when witches first appeared, but this is like a common definition of a witch that has stood the test of time. So in Europe, basically a witch was a person who does magic, even good magic like healing, and also it could mean or was paired with an apostate. So this is someone who has given up on Christianity, if you think about it. So, which is funny because that makes
That's
me
pretty
think
harsh.
of Star Wars. Yeah, but like, so like pagans, you know, were like,
But to brand someone
Thought
as
about-
a witch, you're going to
right.
leave the Christian faith. Now you're a witch.
Yeah.
You're a witch.
Oh yeah, no, like think, you know, you were seen as other, and people who were other or misrepresented in society were the ones who were more accused of being witches, even if they weren't witches to
The-
begin with.
A lesson to learn about our history, always conform.
Yeah, and seemingly
If you don't want to be burned at the stake,
Yeah.
always conform.
exactly. Now let's go to America in the colonial period. Now, this is when, again, a difference in religion caused witch accusations. So, like, let's say that Native Americans accused Europeans of being witches because they brought over diseases and things from the old world, right?
Mhm.
And then also similarly, colonial people would accuse Native Americans or other non-colonials of being witches, basically for practicing their own religion. Like Native Americans would use totems or charms. Other people would use like potions, you know, things like that. And so
they're using this term very fast and
they
loose.
are. Now that's kind of how witch hysteria began, but we'll get there. So other definitions of witches are women who seduce men, like seductresses, and
No, okay, go
and
on.
those that can divine the future. Oh, there's a whole thing about seduction in this. So this is episode going to be rated PG-13 a little bit.
Okay, so when we first met,
Yes.
I could have called you a witch and it wouldn't have been wrong
Why is that?
because you seduced me.
Did I?
Moving right along.
I did wear a low-cut outfit.
I said, moving right along.
Okay. All right. So let's go back to the earliest account of a witch in history, the earliest written account, I should say. So we're going to head to the Bible and the Old Testament. So this is book of 1 Samuel. And this was thought to be written about 931 to 721 BC. So this is before the birth of Christ, according to BC and AB. So
Andy.
and AD. So King Saul, this is what is in this story.
I didn't know they had pens back then to write this stuff down.
Well, they did, even people. I mean, they did. Yeah, they had
They guess
parchment.
the quill, the feather. Okay.
Yeah, it's really cool. All right, so in this story, King Saul sought the witch of Endor to summon the spirit of a dead prophet Samuel to help him defeat the Philistine army.
All right, now don't glaze over that.
Okay, the
The
witch
Witch
of
of
Endor
Endor
is in the Bible.
Why is this not a Disney Plus series? In the Ewoks animated series, there were a lot of witches.
Uh-huh.
I wonder if that was a nod to these
Oh.
stories of King Saul.
Yeah, it probably is. This is in the book of Samuel. And yeah, so she was a divination witch. The witch of Endor.
There's so much potential here.
I know.
The witch-
It's really
Huh.
cool. But even still in the Bible kind of condemns witches. So in Exodus, there is a paragraph that states, thou shalt not suffer a witch to live. And it cautions against divination, chanting, or using witches to contact the dead.
You know what? Just sit in the corner. You'll be safe that way.
Mhm.
Don't summon, don't chant,
Yeah. Don't get sick.
don't look a man in the eyes.
Yeah, don't mumble incoherently.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm dead.
Yeah, it's bad. So now let's go to Greek mythology and Norse mythology, where both of these mythologies had characters called the Fates. And these were 3 female characters who weave the fabric of human lives and then cut the threads to end them. And the Fates in ancient Greek, this is another Star Wars reference. The Fates in ancient Greek were called Moirai.
More?
Yes. And it's spelled a little bit differently. It's Moirai, but Ahsoka's bird, the convor, is called Morai. No extra I. So it's Morai. Isn't that crazy?
There's got to be some kind of a breakdown we can do that crosses over which folklore and Star Wars, because these are all adding up.
Oh yeah. Well, I feel that possibly Dave Filoni's wife, she teaches classes on history and witches and things like that. So I think some of her knowledge seeped in to that.
Mhm.
Yeah. And especially, I mean, we'll get to it later, but in the series Ahsoka, you
Oh.
also have like basically 3 Fates witches. The witches of Dathomir.
Mary, Mother Talzin, and then later on, we'll go into this later on
Yes.
as well, but we see these witches also in Tales of the Empire, all the way
Mhm.
to the Acolyte.
Yeah, it's really cool. All right, so now there's some more myths that we have to discuss. So around 725 BC, the Odyssey was written, and Circe in the Odyssey had a knowledge of plants and potions, and she seduced Odysseus, who's the main character. Basically stopped him from going home sooner to his wife.
Oh, what a witch.
Yep, exactly. So these witches turn up like well before, like thousands and thousands of years ago. It's very cool.
All right.
Are you reading
Aaron is saying in the Sky Chat, Mortis.
Oh, Mortis Arc?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah, those weren't really witches.
No.
If that's what you're referring to, Aaron.
but there were 3 there. And the power of 3,
yeah.
we're gonna go over that.
Father,
Mhm.
son, and daughter.
Mhm. All right, so now we're going to fast forward to the early 1100s. This is when the Arthurian legends were said to be written. And Morgan Le Fay is a very famous witch in that. She is a seductress, and she lures men in with her witchy wiles and then causes all kinds of supernatural shenanigans. She even seduced Merlin himself, the wizard.
This is like a normal Tuesday for most of us.
What do you mean?
Just, all that she's doing for her witchy ways.
Yeah, well, indeed, witchy woman. All right, so then Shakespeare. Shakespeare has 3 famous witches in Macbeth, and they are the Weird Sisters. They're the ones who chant double, double, toil and trouble, fire burn and cauldron bubble, and they brew potions and also use divination to prophesy Macbeth's future.
Yeah, and then they called back to that for Ahsoka. That was the name of one of their episodes.
Yes.
Toil and Trouble.
Toil and Trouble. Yeah, and also, let's see, actually, John Williams famously used those lyrics in some of the Harry Potter music that they were singing. Double, double toil and trouble. You know, the little choir, the chorus.
Oh.
Yeah, the school chorus uses
Yeah, I
those.
can hear that now.
It's very cool. All right, so those are some famous witches in history. And if you guys have any to add, please add them in the comments. I obviously am not going to go through all of them because that would be a little crazy.
Oh, we're here for it.
Okay. Well, let's talk about now witch hysteria.
Which one?
Witch.
Which one?
The witch.
Who's on first?
Witch hysteria.
Okay, got it.
Yes.
Let's go.
Yeah. Okay. So now this is when basically witches jumped from pages to real life, according to what people would accuse each other of. So now in America, we always talk about the Salem witch trials, but witch hysteria began in Europe a couple centuries before it happened in America. And really, this can be brought about by the pervasion of famine, disease, poverty. Things weren't looking too good in certain areas, like little towns, and people would look for a scapegoat as to what was happening. And also, there was a book published in 1486, which was about 20 to 30 years after the printing press had been invented. This book is called Malleus Maleficarum. Which is translated to The Hammer of Witches. And this book was published in 1486, and it is a guide on how to identify, hunt, and interrogate witches. So if you know how perceptible people are, like you see one thing, you go to like WebMD on the internet and you think, oh, someone who has a fever and something and this and this and this, okay, now you have cancer or whatever it is. Like people are just very perceptible to what is shown to them,
Oh, this has been updated. They now call it Twitter.
Yeah. Oh, exactly. So
Yes.
this is what happened. This book was really partly responsible for the witch hunts to go viral as it was in Europe. And you want to know why? Okay, the number one bestseller book for over 100 years was the Bible. Guess what the number 2 book bestseller was?
The Bible Part 2.
No, there's no Bible Part 2. It was this book, Malleus Maleficarum. For over 100 years, it was the second best-selling printed book.
I don't doubt it.
I know.
Well, it's sad.
It is very sad.
Because you know how people just read headlines? So I'm sure maybe back then they would just read the headline. Oh, a witch is someone who is a woman. They're all guilty. Right over there.
Exactly.
They're all guilty.
Yeah.
But maybe they're unlike us and would read a sentence or two before condemning a soul.
Well, yeah. And most people who were accused were single women or widows, women on the margins of society.
By single women, you mean like at that point in time, any girl over the age of 14?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, especially widows, like anyone who didn't have someone to stand up for them, which at that point in the patriarchal society were men, men on their side. So this began in the mid 1400s and it lasted through 1660. So nearly 2 centuries. And in Europe, nearly 80,000 suspected people were put to death in Europe, which is insane.
Oh, come on. Reel it in.
Yeah.
Reel it in. At least do a little bit of homework. But then again, they didn't really have anything to compare or contrast. Like, I don't know what a witch is or isn't, but according to this book, the great Malfoy something or other.
The Malleus Maleficarum.
Yeah, it says that this woman here, if she's wearing an article of clothes that is the color black.
Oh, a red.
Or she laughs.
Scarlet
or
letter.
She cooks. She's a witch.
Yeah, they're accused of wicked behavior. They're accused of being in cahoots with the devil or filled with lust. So if a woman comes on to you in the 1450s, watch out, she might be a witch.
Or just really into you.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, it's a whole new way of being there. So yeah, so then witch hysteria kind of died down in Europe in the mid 1600s. However, this is when America, and particularly Salem, Massachusetts, started to accuse people of being witches in 1692, particularly in Salem. This occurred, and these really began, the Salem witch trials, when a 9 and 11-year-old girl were suffering from fits and body contortions and uncontrolled screaming. And I guess it started spreading.
Yeah, look at the time they're living in.
Exactly.
Everyone's accusing everyone of witchcraft and witchery.
Yeah.
I'd be contorting and screaming too.
Yeah. Now, we visited Salem.
Yes,
and
we did.
Took the Salem tour.
Oh, that was awesome.
And they kind of discussed what had gone on and how witch hysteria began. And a lot of it, some of it had to do with, like, a widow was accused because the guy next door wanted her farm. So he's like, oh, let's get her out of the way. Let's accuse her of being a witch. You remember that?
This is like so modern day social media.
Yeah.
You just accuse someone of something that they have no business accusing,
hmm
and they're guilty.
Yeah, and then once someone is put to death for this, then it kind of even gets more charged atmosphere and more people are accused. So ultimately, around 150 people were accused and 18 put to death, including 6 men. So it wasn't
Mm.
all women.
Okay.
There was 6 men.
Gotta be fair.
Yeah, exactly. And one of them died from being tortured rather than being accused of a witch. Remember the guy who got pressed to death?
Yeah.
We heard about
All
that.
those stones.
Yeah, not good.
That's gonna do it.
Yeah. So now in the early 1700s, people seem to get past this whole witch thing, and laws were passed to help protect people from being wrongly accused and convicted. So there you go.
Well, about time. It only took
Yeah.
you how many hundreds of years?
I know, it's crazy. So now here is where we bring in a little bit of Agatha all along, because Agatha all along throughout is really following witch history or witch lore. And in the credits in particular, there are certain moments that speak to these things in history. So first of all, in the Agatha all along credits, we see a Salem sign entering Salem, established 1626. And there is a woman who's dressed as a witch in black with a black hat, and she's by the sign.
And in the Agatha All Along opening credits, or the closing credits, you have all these images of witches and pop culture, and then some random shots. I wonder what this is from.
I do too. Yeah.
I don't know. This looks like something they found on YouTube and just got this, or maybe you're right. Maybe Jack Schaefer went out there and
Yeah.
took
Maybe.
some of her own shots.
Schaefer. Yeah, who knows? Yeah, this is very fun. So there's a few shots that depict witches. I'm going to go through them. If you're watching on YouTube, you'll see them here. Also, we see the witch trials. So this is the Salem witch trials right here. And we're going to see some more. This is people being tortured and in the
Put in the
stocks.
stocks.
Yep. And then here's another woman being accused in the witch trials. These are all depictions and images. So yeah.
So they had a sketch artist back then in the courtroom?
Of
Well, I
course.
guess because they can't let cameras in the courtroom,
Yeah.
so they had to bring in a sketch artist.
There weren't cameras.
Okay, I got you. I know they can't be because there's no cameras in the courtroom.
Exactly.
I get it. All right, I'm not stupid.
All right. Well, I bet you're wondering about modern day witches, like actual witches. I was. So this also is referenced in the Agatha All Along credits with the modern witch article here. So I was like, okay, modern witch of the 21st century. What does this mean? So I went and I did some research and I found some great articles. Most modern day witches practiced Wicca, and that is the officially recognized religion in the US and Canada. And their motto is to harm none. So it's like the exact opposite of what people perceive witches of.
Mhm.
Their goal is to live a peaceful, balanced life in tune with nature and humanity. So the spells and incantations they perform can really be compared to praying in another religion. Also, potions are usually herbal remedies. So anyone with, tea, hey, you might be doing some kind of, you're drinking a potion, right? It's very fun. And spells are often used to stop someone from doing evil or harming themselves. So I want to bring up in particular Lisa Stardust. She is a book author and she writes from her experience. She is a practicing witch. And she says, being a witch requires a few things: being one with nature, seeing matters with an open mind, and healing others. We are seers of truth, givers of wisdom, and nurturers of earth and those who inhabit it. Using the elements, fire, earth, air, and water that make up the earth can help us create and elevate our own innate power. So right there, you think of Agatha all along, right? With the fire, earth, water, and air witches that they had to gather for their coven. Also, Lisa goes on to say that modern witches believe the world has many dimensions, some that you can't see, and they must be open to receiving information from all those hidden dimensions. And they show love for all living things and rely on the sun and the moon to give them power to cast spells. So it's very nature focused, I would say. So already you have the ballad of the Witch's Road from Agatha all along really displays the fire, earth, air, and water in the lyrics when they say, Gather, sisters, fire, water, earth, and air. I thought that was cool.
Next time there's a singing part, just let me do it, okay?
Not going to let you do it. How many of you want to hear Richard sing that instead of me?
Everyone, look at all the comments in the Sky Chat.
Oh,
Everyone is saying that Richard should sing.
Oh, that's so
They're
mean.
all saying that.
Man, no. You're so mean. All right. Well, once again, Agatha All Along is bringing around modern witches in the credits. So we're going to go here. So in the credits, you see an image of a quartz or a rose quartz stone. It's hard to tell, but these stones are used to gather different energies from different dimensions and help you do things as a modern witch. Also, there is the image of a pentagram, which is a common witch symbol. And there are herbs and flowers speaking to that earth witch. And that's incidentally when Deborah Jo Rupp is being
Oh, yeah.
credited. Yeah. It's very
I thought
cute.
maybe those flowers were called Deborah Jo Rupp.
No. Oh, well, look, they have little terms. So one of them is a mint.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see, we've got, oh, I can't read that. Wow, this is very hard script to read. Anagulis. Okay.
They're very hard words to say.
Yeah, no kidding. Okay. Anyone who can make out those words, let us know. Also, there's tarot cards. Tarot or tarot cards?
Tarot.
Tarot cards. Okay. And we have a Ouija board. This is a very zoomed in part of the Ouija board, but that is the Ouija board.
And it's spelling out Sarah Haley Fan
Yeah.
CSA.
Yeah.
Oh, what do you suppose that means?
That means casting by.
Oh, no. Oh, you guys are all doomed. Get out of the house now. Leave the children. Take the pets. Get out of the house.
Uh-oh, people are weighing in on your singing, Richard.
Well, Bruce.
Brown's got your back.
Thank you, Bruce. I knew
Says-
we were good buddies.
Says Rich can sing. Julie wants us to do harmonies.
Julie's-
Julie, that's not going to happen. Maybe if you're here, yes. Not with him. All right. And
And-
Aaron, on my side, mute his mic in all caps.
Thanks, Aaron. Thanks, buddy.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
All right, let's get to the fun witch stuff.
Okay. What do you want to know?
Transportation.
Oh,
Yeah, I've always wondered who came up with the first idea of witches riding on brooms, because they're a magical creature, so you think they could just go from one place to the other.
Mhm.
So I'm guessing it appeared in a movie somewhere or in a book, but a witch riding on a broom is just something I want to get into.
okay. Well, get ready for this because it kind of blew my mind. Why do witches ride brooms? Well, in 1451, so we're going back to the very beginning of when witches were starting to be accused. This is art history. So in 1451, poet Martin Lafranc's La Champion des Dames, whatever, Defender of Ladies, is his poem. And in this edition of his book, this poem, it depicts two women. One is riding a broom and the other a stick
Or a dustbuster.
or a dustbuster. Or what are the little sharks? Little sharks?
The Roombas.
The Roombas. Oh my God. So this is it.
Oh, there you go. This is from what year?
This is from 1451. So
Whoa.
1450s. This is in France. So, and this is an image that was kind of promoted. Now, this is the known first image of it, but things were swirling in the zeitgeist that witches rode brooms because the broom, first of all, is a symbol of female domesticity, yet it's also phallic. So riding on one was a symbol of female sexuality.
Now I see it.
Exactly.
now I see both points.
And as you know, if you're a woman who displays any kind of sexual arousal at all or anything, comes on to some, you are
Intentions,
accused
yeah.
of being a witch.
Well, that witch right there on the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's dead.
Yeah, exactly. So basically, this was taking a domestic object and turning it on its head, and making it sexual. And there you go.
Now I can't unsee it.
I know. Isn't that crazy? Like the patriarchal society just really wanted to put women down in any way they could.
I'm
This
sorry.
is one way of doing it.
I'm sorry I brought this up.
But I was flabbergasted when
It's
I
very
saw
interesting.
That. Yeah. I was like, oh my God. It like makes a lot of sense now that you think about it.
I hope no kids are watching.
I
you
know.
if they are, they got to learn
Well,
somehow.
There was a lot more graphic pictures I'm not going to show, which is
Oh.
basically naked women riding the brooms. It's like, okay.
Yeah, I don't need to see that.
Yeah, we don't need to show that here. But
Maybe
wow.
it's like supermodels, but yeah, I'm sorry. What?
They were drawn. They were
yeah.
drawn images.
They cast a spell on me. I'm sorry.
Casting spells. Yes. Yep. Family show down the drain. Yeah. Sorry, Aaron.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah. I feel sorry for those in Uruguay because they're not going to hear this show.
Yes. Okay. And in our credits of Agatha All Along, we also see witches riding brooms. Or one. Ooh,
Wait,
there's
one's got
five witches
one-
riding one broom.
And that one over there got a snowboard.
Oh yeah. What
Yeah,
that
that
is?
fourth one got a snowboard, a very thin snowboard.
German sausage. It says German sausage. She's carrying a German sausage.
Oh, lady, put that down before anyone sees you.
Oh my god.
Dude, yeah. You're gonna be canceled, lady. Get rid of that.
Oh.
Get rid of that.
I wonder if this text here is from that poem that we were talking
Oh.
to the French poet. I wonder, the Defender of Ladies poem.
Okay.
I don't know, but that would be really cool if it was.
All right. Suddenly, Julie Gildersleeve
Quidditch
has a whole different
perspective
perspective when it comes to Quidditch and their broomsticks and the Nimbus 2000. Oh, wow.
Bruce Brown, I never thought that of a broom. Me either, Bruce.
No.
Me either. Is it like band camp? Wow, this episode is off the rails.
It is what you see of it.
All right, shall we move on to why witches come in threes?
Come on.
Okay. All right, so as you can see right here, we're displaying a picture of Agatha's brooch in Agatha All Along, her necklace, which depicts 3 women. And this is the triple goddess symbol that has been around dating back, get this, to 10,000 BC.
Oh.
Like it's like on cave walls and stuff. This is long before organized religion, when the Trinity is introduced, the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Before that, you had this triple goddess symbol, and people all over the world, really worshipped goddesses and gods.
So before the Father, Son, the Holy Spirit, we had the 3
Triple
goddesses?
Yeah. That's one of the
Oh.
goddesses. Like many religions or many like ancient Greek, ancient Rome's, they really worshipped multiple deities.
Right.
It wasn't just one. Yeah. So like the triple goddess was one of these deities, and that represents the maiden, mother, and crone. And I just feel it's crazy that this is an ancient symbol. So I loved that. And the triple goddess ultimately represents the 3 transformative phases that women undergo in their lives. So the maiden is the waxing moon, the mother is the full moon, and the crone is the waning moon. And this, women go through changes in their body much more than men do. And so this is really depicted in that triple goddess. Thought that was really neat.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's cool. I think it's a good reason why Agatha wears it. And once again, in the Agatha All Along credits, you see a full moon right before the very final credit of Agatha All Along comes on.
That's more of a werewolf thing.
You know what? I never associated moons with witches until this show. But
Right. Okay. Yeah. Now I see.
yeah, but if you think about it, it does really work. The waxing moon, you're growing into the full moon status,
Mhm.
which is when you're a mother and I guess, a full woman. And then once you're a crone on the other side of motherhood, well, you have all this wisdom
Mhm.
and stuff, but you can no longer be a mother. You can't
Yeah.
have
okay.
babies.
Yeah. I see that now, but
hmm
I wasn't until this. I told you we'd all be learning something.
Oh yeah. No, it's really cool. It's so neat. And so, once again, let's see, Kristen Anderson Lopez and Robert Lopez, they really did their homework with the Ballad of the Witches Road, because there are lyrics in there, maiden, mother, crone, that finishes out the chorus. So you have down, down, down the road, down the witches' road, and then blood and tears and bone, maiden, mother, crone. I started too low. Blood and tears and bone, maiden, mother, crone. Right there.
If you want, I can take a stab at that.
Okay.
My mic's not working. I'm so sorry. What happened? Oh, see, Aaron put a spell on my mic. It's on mute.
Yes. Also, going back to Agatha all along, as Agatha and her coven go down the witch's road and they must face the trials, well, first they must pass through a door which depicts particular phase of the moon. And if you recall that first trial, they went to that beach house. It was the full moon, right? And they said that that was the water phase. So now I don't know how the water, air, earth, and fire have to do with the phases of the moon, but
would you consider that the first door being the door in Agatha's cellar, the one they had to go down into, that hexagon door?
As like waxing? You know what? That's a good, we should go back and look at it. I don't know. That's a very good question. Yeah. Oh, okay. No, there wasn't any moon depictions on that door. Are you talking about the door that looked like the cellar doors?
Yeah. They all went down into while the 7 witches were descending on them.
No, I think the major Easter egg there is it kind of looks like the storm doors from Wizard of Oz.
Right. Okay.
I think that's all that was.
But we should go back and it's worth taking a look at to see if that fits into the stages of the moon on the other doors of the houses they visit.
I agree. I think we should. Yeah. So that's really cool. And then I forget which moon it is in the second trial. It's either waxing or waning. I think it's waxing with the fire because the fire grows.
Right.
Yeah. So there you go. Moon, and also when they're on the road, the witch's road, a moon is always present. It's never daytime. It's always at night. And it's usually, I believe, a full moon. I'll have to check that out too. We have to check.
I think it's the moon that we're seeing right here on that last slide you showed.
Yeah.
Always that full moon.
Yeah, it could be. I don't. Yeah, but it's really neat. I love all this symbolism here. Okay, so once again, why do witches come in threes? So again, we're seeing this triple goddess symbol, which depicts 3 women, Maiden, Mother, Crone. But then there's also the rule of 3, which is a religious tenet held by some Wiccans and neo-pagans in basically new, what is it called? No, hold on. Oh, modern witches, that's right. Okay. All right, so there's also the rule of 3, which is a religious tenet that's held by some Wiccans and neo-pagans in modern witches, basically. And it states that whatever energy a person puts out into the world will be returned to them threefold. So there you go. So if you do something good for someone, that will return to you threefold. But you shouldn't do something good just to know that it will return threefold. So that was like a major like point.
Makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you should do something good to do something good.
That's also a good way to summon a witch.
Oh.
By saying it 3 times.
Agatha.
Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice.
Now is Beetlejuice a witch?
No, demon.
Oh, okay.
Or Candyman, Candyman, Candyman.
See, 3. Okay, 3 is a powerful number in our society and history. You're calling it out right now by saying Beetlejuice 3 times. So witches throughout our history have been introduced in 3s from all the way back to the Fates in Greek and Norse mythology. And also all the way up to, let's say, Hocus Pocus.
Where you get the
Sanderson sisters, Winifred, Mary, and Sarah. You also have the Witches of Eastwick, which are also 3 witches. And Charmed features 3 sisters as well. Now, you can kind of bring this around to Harry Potter a little bit because the main 3, there's 3. I know they're not, there's Harry, Ron, and Hermione, but it's 3 people at the center of our story there. And then this is when we get to Star Wars. Ahsoka, in particular, introduced those 3 great mothers that were living on Peridia. And they're kind of like the mothers of the Night Sisters of Dathomir. And they were practitioners of dark magic. And they claimed to be able to read the threads of fate and destiny. And Thrawn used them to divine those threads of fate and destiny. So much like Samuel kind of did way back in the Bible when he used the Witch of Endor to summon the spirit of Samuel.
So why would anyone want to burn these people? They provide, so much for anyone, and including figuring out where they're going to be, their fates and destiny. I guess Well,
Well-
looking back, that it scared them. Something
Exactly.
that I myself can't define, so that scares me. So I'm going to burn you.
Exactly. And if you think about it, we don't talk about Bruno from Encanto. Bruno could divine the future of people, and people got upset at him when he divined something bad that would happen to them. So the same thing happened with women who would divine the future, like, oh, your husband's gonna die, and he died. Now she's accused,
Yeah.
like now, oh well, you made it happen, kind of a thing.
You're the one who plunged a knife in his heart. I knew it was coming, but you're the one who actually did it.
And now you're talking about Macbeth. All right. So now we bring ourselves to a big question. What brought the change in perception of witches from evil to fascinating? And ultimately a fun Halloween,
A costume.
Costume.
Yeah.
Exactly. So we can point to books, movies, and TV in pop culture. Now, the Wizard of Oz book was written in 1900. And in 1939, The Wizard of Oz came out as a
The
film.
MGM classic.
Exactly. Now, Wizard of Oz had, yes, the Wicked Witch of the West, but it also had Glinda the Good Witch.
Mhm.
And this is a depiction of a good witch, which is one of the first ones, really.
He also had the Wicked Witch of the East,
Yeah.
but she went down.
But she went down and we never saw her wickedness, basically.
No, we just knew that she had great fashion sense when it comes to footwear.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And also, I feel like Glinda the Good Witch looks very similar to Pinocchio's Blue Fairy, which is the movie in 1940.
How so?
Just the depiction of them, Glinda the Good Witch, a very similar hairstyle
Okay.
and coloring. Not the color of her dress, because of course Glinda wore pink, and the Pinocchio's Blue Fairy obviously wore blue, but the face. All right. Then we can point to the feminist movement that tried to repurpose what the witch was into something empowering. So if you think about witches, seductresses, right? Maybe a bit aggressive, an aggressive woman who wasn't afraid to talk back. And this is when we got the Bewitched TV show in 1964. And it depicted a woman who, while she had more power than her husband, but she always kind of deferred to him.
Mhm.
Yeah. So it was the 60s after all.
Yes.
Yeah.
She was the housewife, but
Yes.
behind closed doors, when the credits rolled, we knew who ran the roost.
Right. But then you had her mother
Oh,
come,
mhm.
and she was not to be trifled with.
Mm-mm.
She was kind of an evil witch, but Bewitched portrayed a beautiful, lovely woman as a witch who was very nice. So that also was kind of changing perception. And then we had to really thank advertising in the 50s and 60s that really promoted this image of a witch with the black, pointy hats, all the black robes and everything. But companies started to brand products with witches. And guess what products they were? Products like vacuum cleaners, things like witch
Yeah.
hazel,
Cleaning supplies.
cigarettes even.
Okay.
And advertisers made witches more titillating because guess what? Sex sells.
Mhm.
So all of a sudden people saw witches as, oh, this is good that you're a seductress, right?
Yeah, nothing says sexy like a long black pointed hat and a vacuum cleaner.
Well, they probably had a very much a shorter skirt, especially in the 60s ads.
Hmm.
Yeah. All right. Then we get to one of your favorite in the 1970s. We have Witchy Poo.
Oh, there now you're talking my language.
Now, HR Puff and stuff. Can you describe what was Witchy Poo's character there?
She was a very kooky witch.
Oh, okay.
And
Like, not good.
No,
but
very
just-
like whereas the Wicked Witch of the West was evil and dark,
Okay.
Witchy Poo was the kooky side of that. She had a lot of bright colors on. Her makeup wasn't just that green; it was very patchy, and
Oh.
she looked like a clown witch.
Okay.
So kids could look at that and go, "Okay, I recognize her as a witch, but also a clown, and her funny voice."
Like a goofy witch.
A very
rather
goofy
than
witch, yes.
A bad witch.
Yes. But still, she wanted to kidnap Jimmy. He was the human boy in HR Puff and stuff,
Oh.
and it was HR Puff and stuff and all of his friends that came and rescued Jimmy from Witchy Poo, who almost got him under her spell.
Okay, was she like the Wile E. Coyote of HR Puff and stuff?
Not
Like, she
real, no.
always- oh,
No,
okay. She wasn't the.
She wasn't
bad
always
guy
running
every
into
day.
cliff walls and being hit by anvils.
Well, what I mean is, she always wanted to get the boy, but never did.
Yeah, yeah.
So kind of like Wile E. Coyote
That was
always
the-
wanted the Roadrunner.
The plot of the whole series. I'm gonna get you, but never really did.
Okay. Well, then we can fast forward to Wicked. And this book came out in 1995. This is the retelling of the Wicked Witch of the West's story from Wizard of Oz, but it takes her side and gives her a name, Elphaba.
Mm.
And then this becomes, a major best-selling musical.
I
as
wonder
well.
if Elphaba is ever her name in any of the original Frank Baum
Frank
books.
Baum- I don't, you know what? I've never read the
Hmm.
Wizard of Oz books. If anybody knows, please let us know. And in fact, I'm actually reading Wicked right now, the 95 novel, and maybe I'll go back to Wizard of Oz. It'd be interesting.
Yeah,
It's a book series.
I'm very, very eager
Yeah.
to see how much backstory in Wicked was taken from the original Frank Baum novels.
Actually, a lot of backstory,
Mm.
but I don't know about the name.
Okay.
I think he might have made up the name. Okay, so we're going to bring this back around to Agatha All Along, because that series acknowledges that there have been many witches in pop culture and that it's taking certain tropes and things from these witches. Like, eventually, I know we'll see Agatha and her coven ride brooms.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Spoiler from the
Spoiler
trailer.
from the trailers. Yes. I'm excited about
But
that.
if they didn't, we'd be disappointed.
Oh, yeah. Right.
Yeah, that's the one characteristic of a witch you don't take away.
And the pointy hats.
And the pointy. hats.
Yeah. I think they're riding brooms with pointy hats,
Oh.
I believe. That's what I remember from the trailers. But so now in the credits, again, we're going to point to the credits. It's kind of like a road map. The Ballad of the Witch's Road is a roadmap for the series, and so is the credits a little bit. So here we have Lisa Simpson
Oh, the most evil of all witches.
dressed as a witch. Very cute. Have you seen this episode?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
this is one on one of their Halloween episodes.
Okay. Halloween. What is it called? The Tower of Terror.
Yes.
Okay. All right. And then you see common witchy shoes,
Oh
laced up black witch boots with pointy toes.
yeah, I believe this is from The Craft. Which, if you go to the next clip, do you have
Frame?
it loaded up?
Is this it?
No, it was the one
Okay.
that follows this.
Okay,
with Farouza Balk.
Yeah, they're not in order.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry. I mean, I pulled them out of order to
Right.
show you.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have this. This is just common depictions of witches here. We have women with scarves and black witch pointy hats and holding skulls, things like that. And then you have, over the music supervisors, you have witch claws with very long nails. And Bewitched! There's even a frame from the opening of Bewitched.
And she's wearing purple.
Yes, she is. Also, instead of the Wizard of Oz reference, there's a reference to the Wizard of Oz animated movie with, I believe that's Dorothy, right?
Yeah.
Talking to the lion.
The Cowardly Lion.
But overlaid with words Cotton Mather, which is part of the witch trials, Salem witch trials.
Oh.
Yeah. Mather and witchcraft, it says. All right. And then finally, you see over Catherine Hahn is the credit there. You see a novelty witch.
A very vintage, antique witch, a porcelain witch.
Mhm, with green face.
Yeah, so you think this would be over the credit for Aubrey Plaza?
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nope. This is over Catherine Hahn. Yeah.
Well,
Oh, she's
Um,
wearing, look at, she's wearing
yeah,
a
the
brooch.
I'm going to go on a limb and say that maybe at the end, Catherine Hahn turns into a green witch. Because
Oh,
if Catherine Hahn's credit is paralleled with this
Hmm.
green faced witch, this means something.
and there's a moon phase chart here, right underneath her too.
Hmm.
Interesting. I don't know, but it's really cool. It's really
And there's another
cool.
image down there
Oh, yeah.
hiding.
Oh, is that Dorothy? That looks like Dorothy.
I don't know what that is.
But look, it's a woman with pigtails and
Yeah.
a blue dress, and it looks like Dorothy.
That might even be Catherine Hahn.
Could be.
It's out of focus and behind the moons.
Yeah, it's hard to tell. All right. So there you go. There is a brief history of witches in myth and pop culture.
We
Did you learn
learned-
something?
We learned a whole lot of stuff,
Yeah.
especially about brooms.
That's going to stick with us.
Yes.
I know it is.
I'm
Yeah.
glad we have a dustbuster.
Yeah. Wow.
But the one thing that we didn't go into yet is witches in pop culture. Well, I guess we did.
Yes.
All right, so now let's dive into witches in pop culture.
So now let's dive into our favorite witches in pop culture. So we
Okay.
talked about a few of them. Now, those of you who are watching live, please share what is your favorite witch in pop culture. And Richard, I'm going to go to you because I've been talking a lot and I want to
All
know
right.
what is your favorite witch?
I'm gonna go with Witchy Poo.
Really?
Yeah, like I said, because I grew up on HR Puffin stuff,
Okay.
and when I saw Wizard of Oz, that green witch scared the bejesus out of me. It was like almost like when my sister wanted me to go and see Jaws in 1975, I got scared of sharks. So when watching Wizard of Oz right before I saw Jaws, I associated Wizard of Oz with witches, which made me
Oh.
scared. So I wouldn't watch it for the longest time
Okay.
because of these witches. But then you would see H.R. Puffin stuff with this very kooky witch, Witchy Poo,
Mhm.
played by Billy Hayes. And suddenly you think, oh, witches can be kind of goofy, kind of silly. So I like that. So it balanced my fear of witches.
It's kind of like the kids in our puppet show. When we do a puppet show, we have like the bad bandit puppet, right?
Mhm.
And some kids, he comes up and he has a deep voice, and some kids are like scared of him.
Yeah.
But if you make him kind of goofy,
Yeah. Oh,
then they come around.
physical comedy, if he hits his head on something,
Oh,
the
yeah.
kid's like, okay, now we can hang with this.
Yeah.
And
so
then
that's what Witchy Poo was for you.
exactly, yes, because HR was always thwarting her. But then you go to the Paul Lynde Halloween special, and you have these two witches working together. You have Witchy Poo and the Wicked Witch of the West.
Margaret.
They're teaming up. Yeah,
Yeah.
Margaret Hamilton
Yeah.
and Billy Hayes, the original actresses of these witches. And I remember seeing this in 1977, I think it was 76, and I just had the greatest time with this.
We got to watch this again.
Yes, because the Wicked Witch of the West wasn't as evil and scary as she once was,
No.
because now she's being played. She's playing off of Paul Lynde.
But her voice.
Yeah, that
her
was
voice
scary.
is chilling because it's so ingrained in your head
Yes.
as the evil Wicked Witch of the West.
Yeah, and in fact, she was even on an episode of Sesame Street, the Wicked Witch.
Whoa.
The switchboards at the Children's Television Workshop and PBS everywhere lit up. This witch appearance on Sesame Street scared the kids, and they didn't replay this episode for decades. And it finally
Oh.
resurfaced on a Best of Sesame Street DVD collection.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
How
so
fun.
she really puts the fear of God in you. I don't back in the 30s and 40s and in that era, there wasn't something like social media or someone could go on and say, hey, what's up with this witch? We're not going to watch this anymore. So down with the witches, which would make the networks or studios go, oh no, we can't have this.
Reactionary.
It was just over time where they realized, oh, maybe this witch is scary. But
Okay.
40 years later, they finally come to that conclusion.
Got
So
it.
I'm going to go with those two witches there,
Okay.
with Witchy Poo and the Wicked Witch of the West in the Paul Lynde Halloween special.
In particular. I like that.
Yes.
That you're very focused
Yes.
on a thing. Okay. Nice.
Okay, I got some more, but now you give me
Okay.
yours.
I'll go because I have multiple. Yeah. I mean, come on. There's so many witches
Yeah.
in pop culture. So I have to say, as a kid, my favorite villain was Maleficent. And now, is she a fairy? Is she a witch? She does witch things. She like can transfigure herself, right, into the
Dragon.
Dragon. Thank you.
I
The
don't-
dragon.
I
And
wouldn't consider her a witch.
all right,
But you know what? If that's what you see, art in the make of meaning, go for it.
that's what. So yeah. So Maleficent always fascinated me, and then I had to go with as a witch who I could get behind and like understand where she came from is Miss Price from Bedknobs and Broomsticks, and her Eglantine Price, because she's learning witchcraft. She's getting these telegrams and things and letters that teaches her like different things to do for witchcraft. And I was like, oh, this is cool. So you kind of see her journey, and this is portrayed by Angela Lansbury, and you see her journey as she tries to become a witch. Not a very good one, but she tries.
Mhm.
And so I like that. Similar, like now I have to say I love Scarlet Witch, Wanda, because of WandaVision and how you really got into her psyche and learned like where she was coming from, what her feelings were, and how she kind of transformed into an all-powerful Scarlet Witch. So I really love that. But I do have to give a nod to Harry Potter.
Oh,
So in my early 20s, Hermione Granger was definitely my favorite witch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And that school is just full of witches, which we'll go into
Oh,
in just
yeah.
a little bit. Now,
Okay.
Aaron is saying
Yes.
in the Sky chat, he's talking about a particular witch when he says she's hot. Who is he referring to?
Who is it?
It is Sabrina, the Teenage Witch.
She is hot.
Okay, if you say it first,
I said
now
it
I can
first.
say yes.
I said it first, and I've seen a photo of her on red carpets, and she's wearing the Leia bikini at one point. She's a big Star Wars fan. The
yeah.
actress.
Yeah.
Joan Hart, Melissa Joan Hart.
Joan Hart, yeah. Oh, why have I? Gee, I have to go look for this later on.
Yeah, I'll show it to you.
Okay, thanks. All right, now, well, speaking of Star Wars,
Yes.
I was so thrilled when we got witches in Star Wars in the courtship of Princess Leia.
Yeah.
I never associated witches with Star Wars, but I guess if you think about it, they could exist. They have that magic.
Mhm.
They could use their magical force powers, and I love the fact that they don't call it the force; they call it magic. with a K.
Yes.
So it really worked. It really worked having witches in Star Wars. And then Lucas brought it around to having Mother Talzin and the Dathomir witches in the Clone Wars. So now they're canon. Now we can have witches. It's not just the Jedi anymore. It's all powerful, force sensitive figures.
Yeah.
Now you have, and it's not just the Sith either, but now you get like the third threes,
Uh-huh.
the third sect,
Yeah.
which are witches.
Mhm. It's so cool.
Yeah,
It's so cool.
I love, and then going all the way down to the Acolyte and having their witches coven.
Yes.
Yes, I'm really for having a Star Wars witches TV series.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, every
Okay.
like but you do like every Halloween.
Yeah. Oh, that would be great.
Oh my,
I would like Tales of the Witches
yeah,
instead of Tales of the Jedi, Tales of
the Empire.
Empire, Tales
Yeah.
of the Witches. That'd be great.
Disney Plus, Lucasfilm, come on, we're right here. We're giving you these ideas for free.
Yeah.
You've got to use them, and it would be a. I would believe there'd be a huge hit.
Mhm.
Because who doesn't love the Witches of Dathomir? Who doesn't love witches right now?
Right.
And,
They're so in the zeitgeist right now.
Yeah,
Like,
and
it's
even
crazy.
and Tales of the Empire, those mountainside witches.
Yeah.
Disney.
The
call
Mountain
us.
Clan.
Mountain Clan. Yes.
They were their
yes.
own coven, their clan, they called
Mhm.
themselves.
All right.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
that was okay. Those were
Yes.
our favorite witches in pop culture.
okay. But before we get into other Skywalker favorites, we need to say we had asked Skywalkers a question: what is your favorite witch, and what would you use your witch power for? We didn't answer that second question.
Oh.
So let's answer that. What if you had a witch's power? What power would it be? What would you use it for?
Mhm. Okay.
So do you have an idea? And Skywalkers in the chat.
Well, I
Let us
was gonna
know.
say flying in a broomstick, but I ain't saying that no more.
Oh.
Yeah. So I'm. What? What,
Okay,
what
well,
can you
I'll
say?
go.
What can you say that won't get you in trouble?
I'll go
Okay.
while you think about it. Okay. Because, yeah, who doesn't want to fly? But I have to go with I would use my witch power to clean my house.
You
That
said
would
it, not
be
me.
My
You said it, not me.
favorite thing ever. I'd be
Okay.
like, turn the wand, done. Kitchen clean.
Just like the
Sparkling,
Weasleys.
Spotless. Exactly. Like, you know what? I'm taking it all back. My favorite witch is the Weasley's mom. What's her name? Oh my gosh. Hold on, we got to look it up.
Mrs. Weasley.
My favorite witch is Mrs. Weasley. I take it all back. She does it right. She uses it to cook. She uses it to clean. To
She's
get those
very-
household chores done so she can get on with life.
She's very efficient.
Yes.
I like that too. All right, then my power.
Yes.
I want to command an army of flying monkeys.
Oh
Oh
man.
my goodness! And I'd bring them to Disneyland,
Oh,
and say, okay, as you're hovering above, see anyone who is being the rock in the stream, which means a person who stops in the middle of a busy walkway to text or just to stop and talk to their friend. Monkeys, you're on it. Get them, monkeys, get
they
them.
go and they fly and they take them
They
up.
take 'em
Whoop.
and they bring them to Six Flags. that is what that's the power I would want as a witch.
I love it. That is a well-used power there.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. And take them to the movies. Anyone on their cell phones? Flying monkey, get them. If you see any cell phone light, they're what you do with them behind closed doors, flying monkeys. We don't have to know about it, but we don't ever have to see those people again.
Sounds good. All right, Skywalker's Academy coming in with, I'd play the Anastasia card from the Acolyte and get into people's
Yes.
heads. Ooh.
I like that too, where you can tell people stop texting the movie,
Yeah.
get out of a busy walkway,
Mhm.
or you can have your flying monkeys do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, that's fun. Okay, Aaron is bringing up now a whole new can of worms here. I know she's not a witch, but gotta mention the Queen of Halloween, Elvira.
Ooh.
Okay, now according to some of our witch definitions, seductress.
Okay, check.
Yeah. What else does she have that's witchy? Does she do
What?
potions or chants anything?
No,
Does she sing?
just hosts late night
Okay.
horror-thons.
Okay. But back in the 1490s, man, she'd be accused of being a witch for being too seductress. Too much of a seductress.
Guilty as charged.
Yes. I love it. All right. Did you want to mention anybody else's? Okay.
All right, so now let's move on to the Skywalker favorites. We posted this in our Facebook group and our Facebook page
And Instagram.
and Instagram and asked people, who are your favorite witches? Give us what you got.
And what would you use your witch power for?
Yes.
So Trisha Barr, my co-host on Fangirls Going Rogue, says, I would use my witch power to lift other women up. Witches are one of my favorite topics. Favorite witch characters, Willow from Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Mother Talzin, Elsa from Frozen. Ooh, I think she's a witch. She's got powers, right? She thinks Maleficent is a witch because that's her favorite.
Okay, the jury's out on some of these.
Scarlet Witch, Agatha, Glinda, Wicked Witch of the West, Elphaba, and Bonnie from the Empire Diaries. Wow,
Any
Trisha.
more?
Yeah, so she says, so there's lots of good stories about witches too that were very formative to me. So Charmed, Practical Magic. That's a good movie we didn't mention yet.
With Nicole Kidman.
Yeah,
and
Sandra Bullock. Yeah, we watched that last year. Witches of Eastwick.
Which we got to find streaming somewhere.
Yes, The Owl House.
Never heard of it.
Into the Woods.
Oh,
yeah.
Meryl Streep was the witch. And
Yeah.
Into the Woods. Oh, nice.
She was.
Yeah.
Bewitched, The Good Witch, Teen Witch. Look forward to listening to this episode, she says.
Whoa.
So thank you, Trisha.
That is a good list, but Elsa. I know she's got
I
the
would
magical
say she's a
powers, but
witch.
I think witches need to have
She's
a little
very in
more
touch
of
with
that.
nature. She's very in touch with nature. The
Yeah.
Frozen 2 kind of
Yeah.
went into that.
Okay.
I feel like she ticks the boxes. But you guys let us know. Let us know in the Skywalker chat. All right, Patrick Izzo has a picture of
The Wicked Witch of the West.
and says, she scared the crap out of me as a kid.
Yeah, same here. All right. Eric Unkenhout says, the Wicked Witch of the West is the quintessential witch.
Yes.
Here, here.
Sarah Cole is with me and mentions Eglantine Price, as performed by Angela Lansbury, is my favorite.
Mm-hmm. Now, Rex Gordon says, this is a tough question. I love Agatha and even the Dathomir witches, but Wicked Witch of the West sets the high bar. Other than world peace, I would create a new amusement park, classic Marvel Star Wars land
Whoa!
with witches.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I think maybe world peace and a classic Marvel Star Wars land on the same tier.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, Courtney Turkell's coming in. Hard to beat the Sanderson witches. They will always be my favorites from Hocus Pocus.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, Alan Sanborn says the Wicked Witch of the West, okay, it's unanimous, is hard to beat, but I greatly enjoy Witch Hazel in the Donald
Duck cartoon.
Duck and the Donald Duck cartoon Trick or Treat.
Yeah, we need to watch that
Oh,
again.
yeah.
That's on Disney Plus.
Okay, and Willow from Buffy, of course. My two proudest witch creations were the evil Crusella Yaga from my show, Crowning of the New Witch Queen, and plug,
Yeah.
and the teenage Will of the Witch. And I'd love to fly on a broom. Not anymore, you wouldn't. And cast short-term spells on people. Or long-term. Either is fine.
Thank you, Alan. Yeah, Alan is the,
He's
Halloween.
Mr. Halloween.
Mr. Halloween, yes. All right, Kelly Turkel says, it's hard for me to choose between the Sanderson sisters or Marnie and Grandma Aggie Cromwell from Halloween Town. Definitely my first introductions to witches. So, yeah, very cool. She also likes the witches from Charmed. And Julie Green Gildersleeve. So she shared a photo of her and her friend. I think, is that probably her daughter? And they are in the
Wizarding World of Harry Potter at Universal Studios.
Yes. She says, evidently, I have a love of witches that goes across several different fandoms. As a Harry Potter fan, I would say my favorite witch is Hermione. I love a lot of the witches others mentioned. So Eglantine Price, Agatha and her coven, Witch Hazel, and Madame Mim.
Oh.
Very good call out. Now, I didn't list her as my favorite witch because she's one you love to hate. Like, she's not my favorite.
Yeah.
But yeah.
She's very witchy poo.
Yeah. And she also loves Samantha from Bewitched. Yeah.
All right. Jess Levesque.
Okay. Now, Jess Levesque, she is a practicing witch.
Mm-hmm.
So here is a photo from one of the events that they had performed at Lancaster Thrills. She is dressed in a red cape and a red witch hat with a black dress, and she's with two other witches. And she says, I'm the one in a red outfit. I work for a group called Bewitched Buffalo. This group dances a lot for entertainment and for charity too. They help out animal shelters, food banks. They visit senior centers and hospitals. So that way everybody can still enjoy Halloween while they're recovering or terminally ill. And she says that making children smile and adults smile that need magic in their life is one of her greatest joys. So she's practicing that do no harm, which is one of their main tenets. And she continues, the purpose of what we do is to break the negative stereotypes of how a witch is normally portrayed on film, television, and in stories. And the main thing that matters most is whenever you perform, it's really the smiles that make it all worthwhile. One of the best organizations I ever joined was this wonderful coven.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
I've known Jess for a while. I didn't know.
Yeah.
I didn't know anything about this.
No, that is really, really cool. So thank you, Jess. I'm so glad you shared your experience.
And thank you to all the other Skywalkers who shared their favorite witch. Once again, Wicked Witch of the West. She is on the Mount Rushmore of all witches. Just her, no one else.
Yeah.
Yeah, so thank you all to all the Skywalkers who weighed in. Let us know what your favorite witches and powers, and even in the Sky Chat. I think this was a really fun episode.
Yeah, I hope you guys learned a lot. I know I did, doing all that research.
Yeah, once again, good job.
You.
Good job.
Triple goddess and full moons and broomsticks. Oh my. Go ahead, you do it.
Well, that wraps up episode 486 of Skywalking Through Neverland. We want to thank all the Skywalkers out there who have been commenting on our videos, our shows, and I want to thank you, Sarah, for once again doing all of that research. That was a lot of work.
Thank you very much, and thanks to Bryn McKinnon for suggesting this topic.
Yeah,
it was
really
really great.
last Monday on things we want to share.
Yeah, it was.
And we want to thank everyone for subscribing to our YouTube channel. You ask, and you guys deliver. We can't thank you enough. We're almost there. We're almost at 10,000 subscribers, and we're almost at 1 million podcast downloads.
Woo.
And who's going to do it? The Skywalking Force, the Skywalkers, everyone out there. Thank you. Can't thank you enough, because once again, 11 years would not have happened without you.
And you can also find us on all our socials in between times. We're going to do a lot of Halloween events this week, you guys. So follow at Skywalking Pod on social media. And do you have things that you want to share? Well, you can join us every Monday at 6 p.m. Pacific. We are going live today. And we share things that we've done in the past week. We update you on our live appearances. And we also invite you, Skywalkers, to come on and share something you've done or something you've added to your collection, or do an unboxing or open a blind bag, because we don't buy blind bag stuff. So if you guys buy it and open it on live, that's really fun.
Julie, calling to you.
Yeah, go ahead.
You love your blind packages. I know at some point you will get your Lieutenant Beck.
Oh,
Now,
yes.
are you interested in our books? Today in Star Wars History Part 1 and 2 and Skywalking Through My Fandom, the interactive notebook, where you can get them at skywalkingthroughneverland.com/book or Amazon, or you can go to skywalkingthroughneverland.com/books and we can autograph them there.
Skywalking through Amazon.
Yeah, I almost
That
said
would be funny. Yeah. All right. Would you like to support Skywalking Through Neverland? Well, you can consider supporting us through the Skywalking Force, which is our Patreon. Our 500th episode is coming up. We will definitely have a Patreon party for that. And yeah, if you guys have any suggestions on Patreon, what you'd like us to do there, like, would you like to suggest some topics for episodes? Let us know if that's something you'd like to do.
Yeah, like Bryn suggested this episode.
Yeah, she's part of the Skywalking Force. And you guys have access to bonus content in the form of our Zoom discussions on Disney Plus shows, including Agatha All Along. And this bonus content begins at only $5 a month. You can head to skywalkingforce.com and have a look at the options. And once again, we want to give a huge, huge shout out and thank you to those of you who are already part of the Skywalking Force.
We also want to we also want to thank our sponsor once again, Small World Vacations, for their continued support. Thinking of a trip to a Disney park or on a Disney cruise or both? Well, you can fill out a Get a Quote form at smallworldvacations.com today. Their vacation planning service is free of charge. So head over there and tell them Skywalking Through Neverland sent you, or do a witch's cackle like this. Right on cue. Now, we are part of the Skywalking Network,
Skynet.
where you can find other great shows like Talking Apes, where we just put out an episode to celebrate our 10 years of Talking Like Apes.
The Max Effects Podcast.
The Neverland Clubhouse.
Totally Tell Me Everything.
And the YouTube shows, Collectopolis, and...
Today in Star Wars History.
But you can also...
Star Warsologies. And the
One more
YouTube
time, one more
shows.
time.
We are part of the Skywalking Network,
Skynet.
where you can find other great shows like Talking Apes.
Where we just put out our 10-year anniversary shows 10 years ago.
Wow. The Max Effects Podcast.
Where we just put out our 10th anniversary episode.
The Max Effects Podcast.
Totally Tell Me Everything.
Star Warsologies.
And the YouTube shows, Collectopolis, and
Today in Star Wars
History. Now, don't forget to stick around for bloopers and other fun bits that didn't make it into the show. And
Always remember.
to do a witch's cackle. And Neverland on Alderaan.
Skynet. All right, guys. Oh, it's 5 already. I gotta do my little thing.
All
Yay.
right, so there you go. There you have it.
Shirts.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Woo! It's hot in this witch's hat.
Yes, it is.
All right, we gotta go, but you guys have a great time. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, join us in an hour
Yeah.
for things we want to share.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Oh no, hour and 15 minutes.
Hour and
We're starting
15
at
minutes.
6:15
At
today.
6:15.
Yeah.
See you then.
All right. Bye.